What's up, everybody? You already know how it go. It's your boy B back with another video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you guys like, comment, and of course subscribe. If this is your first time seeing me, my name is Brandon Jones and I specialize in helping you make an extra income. And guys, I'm just at the point in life where I want to continue to grow. I want to continue getting better, and I'm sure you are in the same type of mind space and mindset. And when it comes to flipping phones, if you guys don't know, every single Monday at 9 p.m. in my academy, I have a phone flipping course that is live. I take Q&A. I give you homework. We're going to get you to six figures. We're going to get you to making money, okay? And you can't just start flipping and think that you're going to just get the 6K or think that you're going to even make $5,000 a month just by flipping by yourself. That's not how it works. You got to have a network. You got to have resources, okay? So everybody out here that's telling you right now, hey, you guys can go ahead and start flipping phones and start making thousands on thousands on thousands if you join my academy, is BS. What I do is I actually help you get the resources. I also help you get the connections, and you work with other entrepreneurs too. And that is what this academy is about. Not only that, you're getting products too. I give you free products every single month for you to resell so you can make the money that you spend on the academy back. The academy is $50 right now. Hit the link below to join. And guys, you will be able to gain access to that phone flipping academy and more, okay? So we're here to talk about the price list. Now, I want to first start by doing a deep dive in why I started this price list. I'm going to walk you through everything with this price list. This price list is $90. It's on Hustlertaughtme.com, number one. The price list costs money because it costs money for me to run. This price list has two types of buyers. It has buyers that are in the United States of America, and there's 25 of them, and 25 buyers that are international. I'm working on my 26th buyer, I'm so happy to say, and I just got to find time to go out of the country to meet with them because this is a very detailed syndicate of buyers. And if one person doesn't do their job, it sort of kind of messes us all up. So we try to make sure we're really, really close and always communicating. So yeah, I'm working on the back end with that price list all the time. And I will show you guys everything within the price list as well, okay? But let's go over why I started the price list. And last week, I called one of my old buyers on live, and he told me a phone price. And I wanted to show the live that the phone price he was telling me, it was for the 16. I think he said, yeah, the 16, I can do like 460. But I was looking at the price list, and the price list also has one of his buyers on it, and they're paying $510. So why would you offer me $460 and you're making $510? And I know you may be like, what are you talking about, Brandon? He has to make money. I get it. But let me tell you something. Most buyers, they're making $20, maybe $30 profit. But I just want to show you how cutting the middleman out can make you more money. Because if I was to skip going to that buyer and go to the wholesale buyer, the person that actually is overseas, or the person that is actually buying these phones to resell in other countries, I'm going to make more money. So cutting that middleman out is important. And that's why I ended up creating this price list. I remember when I first started flipping phones, me having phones and selling it to this middleman buyer and him giving me a good price at first. And this is with the iPhone 13 Pro Max. He was giving me a great price. But it was like the more I brought to him, the price just didn't change. Like it didn't go up. It would go down. It would like, hey, for an iPhone 13 Pro Max, I would bring him like 5, right? And for those 5, he said 800. Great. And then I would bring him 10. It would go down. It would go like to $50 lower because the price has changed, Brandon. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I can believe that. You know what I mean? And honestly, it really is a money game. It's a flipping game. And I respect it. But I give you guys the option with this price list to actually maneuver around that middleman, okay? Now, this price list is updated every single week. And I also do lives. I'm going to start doing Market Money Mondays, where I'm actually going to start talking about the price list on live every single morning at 11 a.m. Okay. But guys, so we have our first result, and I wanted to show you guys the results from last week because I used to do videos like this on Educated Hustler, and I want to move them here. So we have an iPhone 16 128 gigabyte locked, and that was priced at $380. Then we have an iPhone 16 Plus 128 gigabyte that was sold for $465, and then we have an iPhone 16 128, and that was sold for $380, totaling and that person making $1,225 from the price list. All right, we have another one. We have an iPhone 16 256 locked. That is $490 that they got. An iPhone 6. So they got all iPhone 16s 256. And they also for $490 for $1,470 is their profit. Okay. And then we have one more that I want to show, which is the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So I want to do all iPhone 16s so you guys see what the pricing is looking like in the market. So it's an iPhone 16 Pro Max 256, and that is, they were paid out $765 for one, and then $760 for another. Now, the reason the prices fluctuate between this sheet is because, hold on, reading notes. It's because one of them is missing the white film. The white film. So if the white cover on that phone is missing, they will deduct $20, right? And the price list tells you the deductions, it tells you the grades, it tells you the phone market value. Now, let's get into why I developed this price list where it mashes up to 50 instead of just having 50 separate price lists, right? So if you have ever been in a situation where you're trying to buy phones, you know that like it's really important that you have proper timing. When it comes to being able to close a deal, sometimes you want to tell that person to meet you right away before they have second thoughts or before they get another offer because it's just a steal and you're like, yeah, right? I wanted everybody to be able to get a price list, not for just the prices of what the buyer will pay you, but for you to know exactly what price to buy a phone at. Like, what price, Brandon, should I not go over? What price, Brandon, should I never, ever offer somebody if I want to make a profit? And that's what the price list tells you. Prime example, which we'll go on the computer and I'll show you. If let's just say a hypothetical, if an iPhone 16 has a $500 at A grade next to it, right on the price list. So it's iPhone 16, 128, A grade is $500. You know for a fact not to go over that $500 because a buyer is either going to pay you that $500 or higher. They're never going to pay you lower than what the price is on a price list, but the price on the price list is market value. That is what all the buyers as a collective deem the price of the device to be, okay, worth, right? So this gives you negotiation power. That's what a price list never really gave me. If I knew Jay was going to buy the iPhone 60 from me for, let's say, $480, right? In my head, I'm like, okay, $480, that's the market value. But then I started to realize when I went to the DR, Dominican Republic, that guy was going to pay $550 for the 16. So then I'm like, okay, something's not making sense between both buyers. So that's why I created the list where we actually have them meeting in the middle. And now they bid on these phones when you are sending them. So now let's talk about how you send phones to us, okay? So number one, obviously it would be a shipping method, right? So what you would do is you would ship the devices to my store. Then after the devices are shipped to my store, we make sure that it's exactly how you describe. Once we do that, we ship it to the buyer that won the bid. Now, what am I talking about with this bid, right? So initially what happens with the price list is once you buy it, you're giving access to the community. Two, you're going to be literally able to communicate with us, and we are able to literally get you offers. So let's say a hypothetical. You have an iPhone 13 Pro Max that you want to sell. On the price list, it has an email that you will email. If you're in the Reselling Academy, though, you can just message directly whatever phone you want to buy. You can message me, hey, I got an iPhone 13, the IMEI is this, the condition is that. And immediately within 5 minutes, I can get you an offer. You get what I'm saying? But with the price list, it's going to take at least 30 minutes, at least an hour, because we have to let them bid back and forth, right? So boom, I got this iPhone 13. You will email us the IMEI, device name, and the device condition, and any notes that you want us to know, like, hey, back camera lens is cracked, or back has a little chip on it, or corner is a little dented. You would let us know. Now, from there, we would forward that email out to all 50 buyers. Once we do that, they look at it and they're like, okay, one person may say, hey, I'll do 300. Another person may say, oh, well, I know my store will sell this, so I'll do 350. And we let them continue to bid up until we get the highest bid. Once we get the highest bid, we say, hey, I know you had an iPhone 13. This is the highest bid. Would you like to sell it? You say yes. Then that's when you do the shipping, and that's when we actually are giving it to that buyer. They pay you via PayPal or via Cash App, okay? We are literally, or Wire. We are literally creating, and we have been doing this for years, 2 years to be exact. We're coming up on our 3rd year. We have been able to assemble a group of buyers that can now, no matter where you're at, help you sell your devices, okay? And that is, I think, one of the biggest benefits that it comes with being a phone flipper, is knowing your resources. And that's why I tell you, like, being a part of a entrepreneur group is awesome, but being a part of a group where they have similar wants and you can wake up every single day, be able to have that motivation, but also have people picking you up when you're down. That's what I created the Reselling Academy for. That's what I created the price list for, so that you already know that you got a list that has your back when it comes to market value. I use this list every single day. My staff uses this list every single day. We never lose money on phones because we don't bid off of what we think the value is. We bid off of what we know the market value is. All right, so make sure you guys are expecting what you expect. Let's go to the price list. I'm going to run down the basics of what this price list looks like so you guys can see and so you guys can get started today. All right, guys, so what we're about to do is we're about to actually go through this price list. I'm going to show you guys exactly what is on this price list, how you can navigate it, and again, and how it can just help you make money, right? So first, what I want to do is I want you guys to envision you being somebody that can get phones on a consistent basis, because you can. You ultimately can get phones on a consistent basis. You just need to make sure that you are holding yourself accountable to making sure that you're making the right deals. Now, I'm not going to lie, right? Getting into phone flipping is not going to always be easy, and it's not always going to have the same cadence every single time, right? Like sometimes it's going to be a bit different, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you're going to make money, sometimes you're just going to have to realize that, yo, I made a bad deal. Like I made a bad promise. And people do that all the time. Like they make promises to people and it's not really their fault. Like they're going off of basically what they think a device is valued instead of going off what it valued. It really is valued, right? Like the value of a phone isn't deemed by what you think or what I think, right? It's literally what the wholesale buyer thinks. Now, there's 2 ways to sell phones, okay? Once you buy a phone to flip, you can sell it to consumers, you can sell it to buyers. Now, either way, there's going to be a market value. The difference is that when you're selling to a consumer, the consumer dictates what that value is, okay? And that's sort of kind of where you want to sell like lower grade phones like iPhone 11s, iPhone 7s, 8s, and stuff like that, like 11 Pros too. Like when you get to the 13, you can sort of kind of decide. It depends on how fast you want to move it, right? You can move it fast by selling it to a consumer, but it's not going to be as fast as you selling it to a buyer because you already know what the buyer is going to actually do. You know they're going to cash you out immediately, right? So that is sort of kind of the bread and butter and the advantage you have when you have a price list. So all right, let's go and let's look at this price list. Number one, right? You're going to have a couple options when you had to price this. You have new phones, used phones, Samsungs, iCloud slash blacklisted, iPads, Apple accessories, Apple Watches, MacBooks. Okay. We also have game systems. Game systems are going to be right here, and you have the ability to flip different ones. Okay, so we have PS5, we have the Switch, even AirPods. Okay, so you can buy a lot of different things, and this gives you a upper hand on a lot of different people. Especially if you're looking on OfferUp, there's somebody selling game systems, obviously. So if you're trying to start getting into console flipping, this is going to be where you want to look at market value too. Now, the market value, let's make this very clear. It's not going to always be something you like, right? So let's say, prime example, I'll show you guys. I'll show you right now. If I go and I look at a iPhone, no, I said iPhone. Let's look at a game system. So if I go look at a PS5, right? PS5 right now, if I look brand new, it is $300. Right? But if I go on to OfferUp right now, and then I look up PS5s, right? I look at PS5s, you see they're a bit higher, right? Nobody's really selling it for 300. And except for this person, right? So that's really good. But the reason is because when you're looking at market value isn't really conveyed to the consumer. Like the consumer doesn't know it's not worth 700. I don't know why they would list it at 600 or 700 used. That doesn't make sense to me. But hey, like you're looking for these type of deals, but you're also able to negotiate these people down because nobody's going to buy it for $600 unless it's another consumer that deems it to be that valuable. But again, at least you're not overpaying for it, right? Like that's the way I look at it. At least you're not overpaying for it. Now, if we go and I'm just going to choose random, like an iPhone 15 Pro Max, right? I can go right here, iPhone 15 Pro Max, right? And then I can see, all right, bet I got somebody trying to sell trying to sell an opened iPhone 15 Pro Max for 700, right? I know that one, I got to go to used phones, right? And I didn't want to go in this category yet, but 15 Pro Max, we got A plus, B plus, B, C. So A grade is going to be like new, but it has a box. B plus grade is going to be like new with no box. B grade is going to be tiny scratches, and C grade is going to be cracked, whether it's the front or the back, right? So we know that this right here seems like it's in really good condition, right? Even though it has that plastic on it, this is I would deem it to be used. It depends on how old this device is, and you can use the IMEI checker to find out how old this device is. But let's just say, for argument's sake, that this device we're going to look at it as used because one, it is open. Anybody can put this little white cover back on. Okay, so we're going to look at it and we're going to say that it is, does he say if it's locked or unlocked? No, he doesn't. So we're gonna automatically assume it's locked. So boom, I already know like 510, like that's my ceiling because that's the market value. So I know that the buyer may pay me higher than 510, but they're not going to pay me under 510. That means that 510 is my ceiling. So I need to literally just go on a calculator, and I'll make a video more in depth about this, but 510, I want to make a $50 profit, subtract that by 50, 460 would be my initial, like that's what I want to get it for, right? So I'll even subtract that by 20 to give myself some leeway. So $440 would be what I would offer this person. Okay. But let's say I'm like, I'll give him some grace and I'll say it's used. I mean, it's new. If I say it's new, I know that so it's not sealed, it's open, right? So we know it's 600. So what would we do? We would go here and we would say, okay, so 600 is that market value. I'm not getting paid no less if I send it to the price list. So let me subtract 50. So this is guaranteed money, right? So 550 would guarantee I get a $50 profit. Let me subtract that by 20 just for some leeway. So 530. So what I would say to this person is, hey, I could do 530. I can do $530. That's it. And now at least you're making sure that you're inspecting what you expect and you're not going to take a loss. Okay. Now, mind you, we can still look at the IMEI. We can do so much with this listing to double check and make sure we don't take any loss. All right. And that is how this price list works. So as the week goes on, I'll be making more priceless videos for you guys so you guys can see even more ways that you guys can make money. Okay. Now, look, and I just want to show you guys something. This guy said, okay. So it looks like, let's see. This person already knows what the market value is. You see what I'm saying? He already knows what the market value is. So that's sort of kind of where it's like, all right, I know I could do 530. His buyer probably is telling him I could do 490, 450, or no, 490, 460. I'm sure because they don't want to pay that much. Okay. And mind you, I don't want to pay that much for I wouldn't even attack that because again, I just want to make a $50 profit. I can go and make a $50 profit with a 14 Pro Max, even a 13 Pro Max, right? So I don't have to go ahead and try to get a 15, you know? So that's just the way to go about it. And make sure that you don't lose money. Make sure you guys join the academy. I have so many more tips. I think again, it's more so a lot of my videos I want people to look at and I want you to understand like I'm teaching substance and foundation more than trying to just, sell you a dream. It's a lot of tactics when it comes to phone flipping. It's a lot of different procedures and things you want to do to make sure that you don't take a loss. So I'm trying to instill that inside of you guys so you guys can have that confidence to actually go out there and just start flipping phones. And this price list gives you a really great confidence booster. So again, guys, keep making money work for you. Don't work for the money. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.